Okay, so today basically we'll be seeing what ADB is. Okay, yesterday we have completed our module 1, module 2, and module 3. Today we'll be starting with module 4, what ADB is, Android Debug Bridge. Okay, and we'll be seeing the setup. We have seen the setup yesterday only. Okay, but yeah, we'll be discussing today. So ADB, the full form of ADB is Android Debug Bridge. Okay, so yesterday only I have told you what ADB does is basically it helps us to communicate with our Android device. Okay, so let me just open my Android device and let me also open my ADB. Okay, so till that time, let me write it down. So basically, what ADB does, it helps us to communicate with our Android device, right? So with the help of this, we can communicate with our Android device. We could install an application with the help of this. We could uninstall an application. Okay, and a lot of things we could do with the help of this ADB. So it is helping us to communicate with our Android device. Guys, why are you joining so late, everyone? Karthik, why have you joined so late? Be on time, everyone. Okay, so why everyone is joining so late? Sorry, guys. So, Android Debug Bridge is basically helping us to communicate with an Android device. So, just let me show you. This is the Android device, right? Now, if I want to communicate with this device, what should I do? So, right now, how should I communicate? For example, if I want to know the IP, so I just have to type ADB devices. So, this will, if the device is connected, the ADB is connected with the device, we have to type this command to see if this ADB is connected with this device. So, this is the first command which is used to see if this ADB okay is connected with this mobile or not. So this is the first command. Now we could do a lot of things with this ADB. Okay, so the first thing that we could do, we could use ADB for installing, for uninstalling, okay, for sending a file from laptop to our phone, from receiving a file from our phone to our laptop, right? So we have a lot of ADB commands. I will be just showing you one or two. Okay, so ADB commands. So to install an application, so if we want to install an application from our Windows so if you want to install an application from our Windows to the Android phone, right? So what we have to do, we have to type this command ADB install the app name, okay, and the extension .apk. So for example, this is the application that I want to just a minute. So okay, so this is the application, okay, cv.apk, which I want to install in my Android device. So if I want to install an app from my Windows to my this mobile device, what I could do, the first option is I could simply drag and drop. If I will drag and drop, it will install it, right? But sometimes this will not work. So in that case, if we want to install, we could install an application with the help of this ADB, right? So let us see. Okay, so we are in the same directory. So you have to be in the same directory. So now to send an application, okay, to install that application in our phone, what we have to do, we have to type a command ADB install and the app name. What was the app name? Let us see. The app name was CV, right? It was cv.apk. Now, as soon as I will press enter, it will start installing. Okay, failed. Just let me see. Failed, no match. Let me try OApps. Okay, so we have successfully installed this OApps app in our phone. Okay, so let us see. So this is the app, 4Goats. This is the application. Okay, so the original name of this OApps app is 4Goat. Okay, so this is the app that we have installed. Okay, So let me uninstall this and let me show you this one more time. Okay, so if we want to install an app and if that specific app file is in on our window, so what we could do, so we could simply type this command adb install ovapps.apk. Right now we could not see any forgood application, right? But as soon as I will press enter, you will be seeing this application, right? So now we are having this forgood. Okay, so if you want to install app, you could simply use this command. Now, if you want to uninstall, right, you could simply uninstall by coming to your phone and just dragging to this uninstall option. But if we want to uninstall directly from our ADB, we could simply type this command, which is ADB uninstall and the app name. Okay, so we have to give this app name. Okay, we have to give 4 goats. Okay, so you could simply give the app name, which is 4 goats. Okay, dot apk. Okay, it is having some errors. Let me remove the extension. Still, it is having some errors. Let me type OAP apk. Okay, so it is having some I think issues right now, but yeah, this will work. Okay, right now it is facing some problems, but if you will type this command adb uninstall, so it will basically uninstall the application which you have installed. Okay, so this is the command that we could use to uninstall our application. Okay, so this is the commands that we could use. Now if I want to send a file, so this is the file. Okay, for example, this is the file settings file. Okay, I want to send this settings file to my Android device. So the first thing is that I could simply drag and drop, but with the help of ADB, what we could do, we could simply type this command for sending a file from our host machine, which is Windows, to our Android device. So for that, the command is ADB push. Okay, then we have to, is that the CMD of the PC? No, this is not CMD, this is AppP. Okay, so this is AppP, which is using CMD. Don't get confused. Okay, so this is AppP. Okay, now ADB push. Now what we have to do, let me go to the notes. So first of all, let me write the command to uninstall. Okay, for uninstalling an application, we have to type ADB uninstall the app name. Okay, now the next thing, if we want to send a file from our laptop to our Android device, to send a file from laptop to Android device, we have to use this command, and the command is adb push. Okay, now we have to give the laptop path, okay, where the file is. Okay, for example, if I want to send this settings file, okay, if I want to send this settings file, I have to give the path of this file. Okay, so you have to give the laptop file path. Okay, the path of the file, and then you have to give the Android path where you want to copy that specific file. Okay, so what I have to do now, let me type this command adb was now the path. Okay, so what is the path? Let me copy this. This is the path. Okay, let me paste it. Now one more thing that I have to write, I have to write the file name. Okay, I have to write the file name. What is the file name? The file name is settings.tb, because this is a database file. So settings.tb. Okay, now where I want to send this file. Okay, the path where you want to send this file. Okay, so for example, I want to send this file to my let me see, I want to send this file to my home, like basically my root directory of this application, right? So let me go back just a minute. Okay, so let me show you adb cell. So with the help of this, we could come to the root of our Android device, and let me type ls. Then let me just type cd data, and what I want is simply, I want my that specific settings.db file to get copied in this specific path, which is data, right? So for that, what we have to do, we have to go back and we have to type the command. Okay, the command is adb. Okay, then sorry guys, if anyone is having any doubts, let me know, guys. Anyone is having any doubts? Okay, so should I continue? Okay, adb push, then the laptop path, which is our C drive appp, and then the settings file settings.db. Okay, then the Android path, which is data, okay, and let me press enter. Okay, failed to copy read only. So let me data. Okay, failed to send the file. Let me check. Just a minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry guys. The main thing was that I was using the wrong slash. Okay, so yeah, is my screen visible, everyone? Don't worry, I will be explaining that right now. Don't go to that. Okay. So what I was doing previously, I was simply using this. Okay. So previously, what I was doing, I was using this class. Okay. So you don't have to use this class. Instead of this, you have to use this class. Okay. So this was the error that I was getting. So now if you will press enter, it will work. Okay. So now how to see? So to see that, don't worry about this ADB cell. I will be explaining that. Okay, in upcoming sessions. Okay, right now just see how we could send a file from our laptop to our Android device. Okay, so cd data ls. Now you could see, guys, we are having this file, right? Settings.db. Can you see this, everyone? Okay, so this is the command. Okay, this is the command from which we could simply send a file from our laptop to our Android device. Okay, ADB puts the path of our laptop where the file is and the path where we want to send. Now you could select any path. Okay, and don't worry about this data. I will be explaining you everything, guys. Okay, just have patience. Okay, so let me just see if I have written this command. Okay, so yeah, I have written the command ADB puts laptop path and yeah. Okay, now to receive, if we want to send a file from our Android, for example, now I want to send this settings.db file from my phone to my Windows, okay, to my host machine. So previously we have sent from laptop to our mobile, right? In this case, what we have done, from laptop to we have sent to our mobile. Okay, we have sent to our phone, right? This is what we have done. Now if we want to get a file from phone to our laptop, okay, so for that, what we have to do, we have to use this command. So to pull a file from Android device, okay, Android device to laptop, or I could say system, right? So for that, what we have to do, we have to type this command ADB, okay, pull. Then what we have to do, we have to reverse this thing. So previously we were giving the laptop path, then the Android path, right? Now what we have to do, first of all, we have to give the Android path where the file is. Okay, then we have to give the laptop path where we want to copy that specific file. So let me show you. Okay, so first of all, let me delete this specific file. So I am deleting this settings file from my Windows. Okay, and what I will be doing now, I will be typing the command which is ADB pull. Okay, now what I will be doing, I will be giving the path where I have copied this settings.db previously in my phone, which was data, right? So I will be simply I will be just typing this data and the file name, which was settings.db, right? Now where I want to send this file, so I want to send this file, I want to copy this file to my C directory, and I want to send this file to my appy, right? So what I'm doing, I'm simply giving the appy path. Okay, now what I have to do, simply I just have to press enter. Now if you will see right now, I'm not having this settings file, right? I'm not having this settings DB file. Now once I press enter, and if now you will see I'm having this file, right? Guys, can you see this? Okay, so previously what we were doing, we were sending a file from our laptop to our Android device. Now what we are doing, we are pulling a file from our Android device to laptop. Okay, now what we are doing, Android to laptop. Okay, clear? So this what we were doing right now. So this is ADB. There are a lot of things that we could see with the help of ADB. In upcoming session, we will be using ADB a lot. Okay, so these are the few commands that we could see in ADB. Now let us come to the security architecture of Android, which is very important. Okay, so we have to understand the security architecture and architecture of Android before going to the practicals. Okay, so security architecture. Can anyone tell me what is the security architecture of Android? Anyone? Guys, anyone? Just give a try. If you are wrong, no problem, guys. Try to give an answer. Anyone? Let me turn on the mic. Just a minute. Okay. No, that is different. Right now, I'm talking about the security part. I'm not talking about the architecture, just the security architecture. Okay. Security, what is there before architecture? Okay, no problem. So let me explain. So when we are talking about the security architecture of Android, okay, we have two models. Okay, so we have two models in our Android security architecture. So we have two models. Okay, so we have two security architecture model in Android. So the first one is which is Android based model, and the second one is Linux based model. Now, why I'm writing the second one, Linux based model, because in the first session only, I have told you that Android OS is built on the top of Linux, right? So that is the reason we are having this Linux based model. Now, what is Android based model? So let me give you an example. So what happens in our Android when basically the developer is declaring some application. So when an application is being developed by a developer, what he is doing, he is giving some types of permissions in the application, right? Which are required to run the application. Okay, and if you are not giving that permission, that app will not run. And all these permissions are granted by the users. Okay, for example, you are using Ola, Zomato, Rapido, a lot of apps, right? And now when you are opening that app, you have to give permission, right? You have to give permission at the runtime. How many of you have seen this when you are using Ola, Rapido, OLX, okay, any site which is asking for permission? Guys, if you want, you could open your mic. You could turn on your mic and you could say, okay, yes or no, guys. Give a reply. Okay. Yeah. So we have to give permissions, right? Now the Android versions that we are using right now, we have to give permissions. Okay. For everything, we have to give permission for camera, for location. But what was happening before, prior to the Android master law? So the Android version 6, before this Android 6, what was happening? All the permissions that we have to give were given basically during the installation. So when we were installing the application, we have to give all the permissions. So if anyone has used Android 4 or 5, you have seen that we have to give all the permissions while installing the application. If you have seen anyone, if anyone has used 4 or 5 version Android, so you have seen that we have to give all the permissions while installation, right? But what happened after this Android 6 Marshmallow, that all the permissions are granted whenever they are required. So if you want to order food with the help of Swiggy, right? So if I want to order food with Swiggy, then only I have to give location, right? Just an example. Then I have to give location permission, right? But what was happening before this? Sorry, what was happening before this Android 6 is basically we were giving all the permission when we were installing the application. So this is what Android based model is. Am I clear, everyone? Okay, so I'm repeating one more time. Okay, so in Android based model, what is happening? For example, I'm a developer. Okay, so Asif is a developer. and I'm creating an application. So before Android 6, when I was creating applications, I was giving a set of permissions. For example, I am developing the Swiggy app. Okay, just assume that I was a developer of Swiggy. So when I was developing Swiggy, I have given some permissions that you have to, like the user has to grant them, right? Now, if you will not grant, the app will not work, it will not work. Okay, it will not work properly. So all the permissions before Android 6 were done at the installation. So when we were installing the application, that all the permissions were given at that time only. But now what is happening, all the permissions which we want to, for example, if we are using Zomato and if you want the location access, the app needs the location access. So the user, as a user, the user who is using the application, has to give permission. So this is what Android-based model is. Okay, so we have to give location permission or any permission that the application is asking. For example, if you are using Snapchat or Instagram, you have to give your camera permission, right? And you have to grant it in the latest version. But before that, in Android 4, 5, we don't have to give permissions. All the permissions were given at the runtime. Okay, am I clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No doubts? Let me know if you're having any doubts. Okay, now Linux-based model. So this one I have already told you. Okay, so in Linux-based model, I have told you that as we all know that Android is running on the top of Linux. Okay, so the security architecture is similar. Okay, so as in Linux we have separate UID. Okay, in Linux we have separate UID and PID. In Android also we have separate UID and PID. For each user there is a separate UID, and for each process there is a sub-process ID, a different process ID. Okay, guys. So this is what Linux-based model is. Okay. Now let me tell you what this data is. Okay. Before that, let me go back. Now this is the phone, right? Now this is the rooted phone. Okay. Now if we want to access the root, okay, if we want to access the cell of this application, we have to type add cell. Now if we will type ls, we are in the root of this Android application, right? Now if the device is not rooted, we could not access this specific path. If the device is rooted, then only we could see this specific path. Okay. Now these are all the folders inside our Android app. Okay, sorry, inside our Android device, not app. Okay. Now this path, this specific path, data, and let me type ls. So this data, okay, so this data path is basically the path where all the apps are installed. This is the working directory of the application. So if you will see, we have installed this application, right? So all the folders of any application that we are installing, okay, for example, if I'm installing Zomato, all the folders, everything will be inside this data path. So if you're installing an application, so all the data, all the file related to that application will be in this specific path. Okay, so for example, right now this is the application 4Goat, right? Now, but in this, what you are seeing, you're not seeing the 4Goats application name directly. You are seeing something like this, which is this org, OABS, Goat, Droid, 4Goats, right? You are seeing something like this. So what is this? Anyone? Yeah, correct. So this is the package name. So if you have used website, a lot of you have used websites, right? So in website, we have seen that each domain, each website is having a domain name, right? For example, there is Amazon, right? So if there is Amazon.com, so this is a domain name, right? This is a domain name. Each website is having a domain name, right? So this is the domain name. Amazon is a company and it is having this domain name. So if we want to identify the original domain of Amazon, we could simply see the .com, okay? And if that is .com, we could say that, yeah, this is the domain of Amazon, original domain of Amazon. Similar to that, if there is an app, for example, there is this asif.apk, and if you want to see what is the package name, okay? So each application is having a package name. Package name is basically like an identity for an application, right? So each app, every app which is on Play Store is having a package name, okay? Every application is having a package name, and you could see all the package names in this specific data path. So all the applications that you have installed in your phone, any app, every single application package name will be there. For example, if you could see right now, let me show you. So the calendar, we are having calendar in this specific phone. So you could see we are having the calendar package name, right? We are having the contact. We are having the contact package name. We are having the media package name. So each application which is running, we are having a package name for each application. Clear, guys? Now, sometimes what happens if we are testing an application and that application is not available in our Play Store. So in that case, what we use APK downloader. So this is a website, okay? So this is a website which is used to download any app that we want. So for example, I want to install Amazon app, okay? So I want to install the Amazon app, and this is the Amazon app. So let me copy this. Now, you could see one more thing. In Google Play Store, if you're opening Google Play in your browser in your laptop, you will see that we could see the package name. This is the package name that we are able to see from Amazon, in.amazon, from this to the last shopping. This is the package name for Amazon app, right? So you could also see the package name in this specific area. Okay, so if you want to see the package of an application, so the easiest way is to simply type the name of the application and just type Play Store. So you will get the package name. Okay. Now what we have to do, if you want to install this application, for example, this app is not available in this phone. It is not getting there. Okay. So if you're not able to find this app, Amazon app, in your Play Store, what you have to do, simply go to this website. I will be giving the URL. What you have to do, you have to paste this. You have to copy this path and you have to paste and click on analyze. Now, just wait for a few seconds. Let me copy this. And let me write down the data. So it is the working directory, okay, or we could say folder of all the apps installed on the Android device. Okay, and we can only access this directory on rooted device. Okay. Okay, so this is what is the definition we would say for this data. Okay, now let us go back and we could see now, guys, we are able to see this, right? We could simply click on this and we could download this Amazon app, right? The download is started, right? So this is what we could simply do if you want to install an application. Now you could see a lot of details, package name, right? You can see the app name, the version name, updated, the update, right? You could see everything. Now there is one more thing that you could do. You could click on the setting. Now you could download according to your Android version. So for example, I want to download this app for Android 12. So I could click on Android 12. What is DPI? So basically, if you go to your Genymotion, we are having this DPI, right? So basically, we could select the one, for example, I'm using this device. So I could select 320 DPI, right? So I could select 320 DPI, okay? So we could select 320 DPI and the version is Android 6 and we could click on analyze. And now after this, we'll be getting the app to download. Now we could download this, okay? So this is the app, we could download this, okay? And we are downloading this app for this specific version. Am I clear, guys? So I will be adding this. Okay, I will be adding this. I have already added. So this is how we could download our application if we want. Okay. So
Sir,
yeah,
could
go
you
ahead.
repeat what is DPI? Yes, sir.
What, Mohammed? Can you repeat?
DPI, can you repeat what it is?
I'm not able to hear you properly. Just type your question. Can you repeat what is DPI? Basically, it is the density. You don't have to do anything with this. This is the density of that mobile device. Okay. So when we are basically installing an application with the help of this APK downloader, we have to give this density If we will not give the correct density, so it will not work. Okay, so that is the thing. Am I clear? Okay. So guys, if anyone is having any doubt, let me know. What I was teaching, just a minute. Okay, so I have completed the security architecture. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be starting with the architecture of Android. Okay, so today we have seen the security architecture of Android. Tomorrow we'll be seeing the architecture of Android. Okay, then we'll be seeing difference between DVM and ART. Okay, guys. So if anyone is having any doubt, let me know. So basically, the project is you will be given an application. Okay, you will be given an application, a real application to test. So you have to find vulnerabilities. The vulnerabilities will be given to you, the names that you want, that you have to find. So you have to find that application, that vulnerabilities in that application, and you have to make a proper report. Okay. Don't worry, I will be explaining that in the last module, which is module, I think module 14. So I will be explaining, I will be giving example also, examples report. So don't worry for that. We have a long way to go. So today we have completed this module 4 and we have started module 5. Tomorrow we'll be completing module 5 and module 6 as well as module 7. So tomorrow we'll be completing till module 7. Okay. So yeah, you will be getting the recording, guys. Don't worry. AJ, what is your name, AJ? Please join with your real name from the next session, okay? Yeah, you will be getting the web application resources. I will be sharing, don't worry. Okay, Ajay, okay. Okay, so that's all for today's session, guys. If anyone is having any doubts, they could stay and the rest can leave, okay? Let me stop the recording.